beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. It is the afternoon. I'm going to show you what we've been up to. So let's go. We've been mostly focusing on the garden spaces the past couple days slash couple weeks. We're just working on this raised bed garden here, and then over behind the raised bed garden you can kind of see the in-ground garden. There isn't a whole lot going on right now in there. There's potatoes and onions and leeks, but they're quite puny, quite small. If they haven't already come up, the onions have barely peeked through the soil, and the potatoes aren't up either. It's the very beginning of the season here, so not too much is growing. Plus, I think I'm a little bit late to the game with having moved in just a few weeks ago and starting a whole new garden. Yeah. Anyways. So we got a drop off of soil that's about maybe a quarter or half of what we used to have. We filled the raised beds, we covered the in-ground garden, and we also did the beds in the perennial garden. So right behind me we have partial of the perennial garden. We have some strawberries in the larger metal beds and then some herbs in the smaller metal beds. I'm going to put some flowers and mix a whole bunch of different things in here. The rhubarb was already here when we came and we moved here, but I decided to plant some strawberries and asparagus beside it. Everything is starting to peek up through the soil now. So this is one of the strawberry beds here, and they're doing really well. I mulched it with straw that I got from a local person to make sure that the soil stays moist for longer, and I don't have to water as much. But these ones are June bearing strawberries, and they look really, really good. I have some echinacea here that I'm debating where I want to move it, if I want to put in this metal barrel here or where. But the rhubarb looks good. We got some Muskoka chairs here so that we can have nice fires and be comfortable. I think I'll do like a whole tour in another video, but I'm just kind of showing you some of the things that we've been working on lately. It's mostly been in and around garden spaces. We have some lounging chairs up for break spaces. So we did get an ATV, that is definitely new, and a little trailer that can go behind the ATV, which is also new. Not brand new, but it needs a new wheel. But yeah, this thing has saved our butt already a couple times. It has a winch on the front, storage compartment on the back, and yeah, I already love it. We have our lawnmower here. We've been working pretty hard on this chicken coop here. I'll give you a little sneak peek. So, this is what it looks like so far. We've covered the plywood with a heavy-duty tarp. The entire thing is framed here. Those are the laying boxes there. Still needs a door. It still needs the run. Still needs a roof. And the layer boxes are just absolutely stunning. And they're at the perfect height for me. We probably could have put them higher, but I'm short and I'm not going to be able to reach in if we do that. So, yeah, so these are perfect for me. It looks beautiful. We also have a window on this side that's going to have nice shutters and wired mesh to make sure that no predators get in and no chickens get out. We did get a little mini high tunnel. Securing it has been fun, to say the least, but it's quite warm. We'll go inside. So this is a little sneak peek of inside. We're gonna fix this all up real nice, but for now it just has the weed fabric down. But yeah, it looks really good. Just behind me we have the in-ground garden. Right here where the straw is just some of the potatoes and onions, and under that net is some of my broccoli. There isn't a whole lot out right now because we've also been dipping down really low at night, to which means that there is a really high chance of frost, which could potentially damage the plants. Now, if you already have put stuff outside and there's a chance of frost, you could always cover them, but I'm just waiting a couple extra days just to make sure that we're all safe. Just behind me we have the raised bed garden, so that's still a work in progress. Bit by bit we will get this all done, but we have 7 beds currently done, and then Nem is working on one of the log raised beds just back there. It looks beautiful so far, no complaints. Yeah, and I think either tonight or tomorrow I'm going to be starting to plant in these, which is so exciting. I'm so excited that gardening season is finally here and we can actually start putting our hands in the soil. But yeah, just to kind of give you a little idea of what this space may or may not look like. Right here is going to be the entrance to the garden. These are 2 climbing rose bushes. So there will be a big pergola right here. We'll eventually get this all fenced in, but for now it is what it is. But the nice pergola will have the beautiful roses climbing up it, and then we'll have this beautiful long log raised bed. And right here there's 1, 2, 3 small 8-foot beds, and we'll put a 4th just at the end there. And then we have 4 12-foot beds. Now, how we filled these raised beds was you've probably heard of it before. It saves the amount of money that you spend on soil. So you fill the bottom with cardboard and logs and sticks and everything that you can find. You can fill it with straw, dried leaves, grass clippings, wood chips if you have some, and then put your soil on top. Now we put a layer on the bottom and then we kind of just layered on top. So the garden is definitely a work in progress. Hopefully I'll be able to get a little bit more in the ground ASAP. Let's go take a little walk around and see what else we've kind of been up to over these past few weeks. A lot of things have already changed. I'm sure you can already tell, but yes. And by the way, I'm not burning. This is bug spray, so yeah. So we haven't done anything to the shed or the barn. We found some T-posts though up in the barn, so I'll get those spray painted and into the garden. We found a whole bunch of fiddleheads all down here, which have been really cool to try. I actually do love the taste. And then we also found a rhubarb plant here on the side, and some wild raspberries here. I called them wild because they look wild. But yeah, so that's coming up. The little piles of straw are some more berry bushes that I've put up here. They're doing really well. So we gotta figure out what we're gonna do down here. I'm thinking pigs. That might also change, we'll see. But I'm gonna clean up some of like the fallen trees and brush that's no good anymore. And just kind of clean that up. Make it look at least a little bit better. But yeah, you can see all the dead brush. So this is like a good size place down here, and I feel like I do know that pigs do better when they're in like a shaded environment, that they're not out in a field, and it does get a little wet down there, more so because like where I'm standing, it kind of just drops off here. You can kind of see the drop off there, so the water runs down through there. I do think that pigs would make that space like really well, even if they do make it into a mud bath. Pigs are going to be pigs, and they will be happy if they're in mud. So we did clean up a big pile of, I'm gonna call them sticks or branches, but they were pretty much that. It was a big pile here. Yeah, so it was a big pile just here, and we put them actually in the bottom of the raised beds. We were just over there. Now we're coming down here. This is kind of like a little road. It starts up there by the tree, comes down And we really haven't done much to this down here other than like a little bit of cleanup. Not much, honestly, because we've been focusing on the in-ground garden, the raised bed garden, the perennial garden, and the chicken coop. So, but yeah, this is what it looks like. It's looking good. There's some brush piles that need to be cleaned up, but so this is where I actually need your help. There is some brush growing down here, and it's a very weird grass. Like, I don't know if it is a grass. It hasn't been used for a very, very long time, but I'm hoping that we can kind of clean this up and, you know, turn it to pasture, but we'll see. There is some water spots here, and I just want to show you. Water kind of just sits right here, then it goes up along there a little bit and a little bit all the way to the end there. And there's this, if you look closely, it's like a wiry grass. I have no idea what to call it, but it's definitely not grass, and it's definitely not something that you can eat, like a livestock animal could eat. So maybe goats, but and sheep. But I'm more looking at like horses and cattle, so not really sure. There's some stuff up there that just needs to be tidied up. But yeah, this all just slopes up that way, and then there's like a slope, a gentle slope there. Yeah, we have a lot of hills. Not a bad thing. But yeah, so the water drains down in here, and I'm sure you can hear how to get rid of this brush stuff, and then yeah, get rid of this brush and try to grow some grass. I don't know if this is gonna need too much work, or if it's like needs a really good cut, really good seed with some topsoil, or if it needs complete grading and drainage put in. I'm really not sure. But yeah, so like the house is just up there. Yeah, it's huge. And like we go all the way back that way, quite a few acres, and then it just all veers off this way, going far back that way. Honestly, 64 acres is a lot bigger than what I thought it was. I'm just being honest. Something new that we've been working on is doing some research of how to collect our own firewood for this winter. I think I said in the last video that I wanted to heat the house with some firewood this year, this upcoming winter, and I know you don't even want to think about that right now because it's just beginning to be spring. We have no shortage of trees. This is the only other cleared spot than where the house is, and the rest is forest. We have no shortage of trees here, and there's a whole bunch of baby trees. I don't really want to do any clear cutting if I don't have to. If I have to, I have to, but I'd really just like to use this valley that's already cleared for pasture. But this is like sand or crushed gravel here. Yeah, it's a pretty sturdy little road that kind of goes up into our property. If you have any ideas of how to get that, what we are calling the valley, into some sort of pasture, then please leave it in the comments down below. We're still learning all this stuff, and I really just like to use our property for what it's intended for, and it's a lot of acreage to just have gardens, and I would love to have some livestock animals. I've owned horses before, so big animals are not really an issue for me, but I'm sure there's going to be a big learning curve with cows and pigs. But yeah, if you have any ideas of what we can do to kind of really help that ground, please let me know. But yeah, we have other flat spots down the road that we could technically clear for pasture, but one, it would be very inconvenient for me to use as a pasture because it's not super close to the house. This valley here is literally like, here's the house and here's the valley. So that would work out really well if we can get it to work. It might take some, you know, MacGyvering, might take some really hard work, but if you have any ideas, leave them down below. I want them. Our lawnmower is currently broken. The steering needs replacing. But so we have this like whole field of dandelions, which I am honestly really enjoying. The grass isn't super long, but the dandelions are tall. And I honestly think it looks amazing. Probably not to our neighbors, but who cares? I'm sure the bees and everything are really enjoying it. Once we get the part in, we'll mow. But for now, this is how it is. Alright. So they've gotten a heck of a lot bigger and rowdier. They are loving the sun right now. And they have started this habit of flying up on here and on my shoulder. They will any second now. Come on. Yeah. Here you go. Here you go. It's okay. I'll get some feed from them. There we go. You guys are so rough. There you go. Little dinosaurs. It's very dusty in here. Very dusty. They're cleaning the brooder tonight. But they've gotten so big so quickly. It's crazy. This one's the one that always likes to fly out and climb on my shoulder. But they're doing really well. So we're just gonna close this. They're very rowdy. But they're doing really well. And the dogs have adjusted well, right Luna? Right Luna? Hey, psst. Do you like to be a farm doggy now? Are you a farm doggy now? Yeah? You like to run around outside and play? Before we end this video, I just kind of want to take you on a ride with me on the ATV and kind of show you a little bit of a different perspective of this farm. So I got the keys, so let's go. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me over the ATV engine, but we did find a lot of deer tracks and poop down here in the valley. So fingers crossed there's lots on this property. So that is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed the little ride with me tonight. Thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.